Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to my channel. I just want to preview the Australian Open, the 2022 Australian Open. I'm a bit late on my preview. I've had a whole lot of issues to deal with that are out of the ordinary. I like to do the preview well before the matches start, but sometimes life doesn't allow that. But now I can do it for you. So let's get into the preview. So first of all, I want to just talk about the Novak Djokovic situation, guys. He got the medical exemption. It was all done. It was all legal, but a whole lot of people in Australia have said, wait, I've had to have the vaccine. How should he be able to come here and not have the vaccine? That's not fair. And then there was all this public anger against the government making an exception for Novak Djokovic. So the government basically went and said, well, we want the public support on our side. So we're just going to go side with the public. The Minister for Immigration can override all visa decisions and just cancel the visa. He did that. Novak Djokovic tried to go to court against him. But there's not much chance to win in court against the immigration minister, so he lost. But it was basically about the people were angry that there are vaccine rules and they had to get vaccinated. Djokovic looked like a celebrity not having to follow the rules that they had. So they were angry and joined against the government. The government wanted to get the public back on side and they wanted to get public support. So they basically did what the public wanted and cancelled Djokovic's visa because that's what the public was angry if he was going to be able to play. That's how the public was feeling. But they would be very happy if his visa was cancelled. And the government would have this thing, we're telling you to do all these rules, but it's different for Djokovic and we're angry with you. But as soon as they sided with the public and said, yeah, we're cancelling Djokovic's visa, suddenly the government got popularity and public support, and it's probably going to help them to win an election. It was about a government wanting to get public support to win an election, and they made the decision that made them the most popular. They have got the public support. It will help them with the election, but as a result of that, Djokovic has to not play the Australian Open. So it's not a political channel, but I had to say the basics on it there. So let's go to the Australian Open preview. First, I'll look at Medvedev's draw. He's going to play Kyrgios in his second round. He'll win that. Move Kyrgios around, suppose the lack of movement. Kyrgios won't be able to stick it in a rally with him. So that'll be that. Then Sorry, just a second, guys. So yeah, Kyrgios in the second round. Then after beating Kyrgios, he'll probably play Gasquet in the third round. Um, he'll beat just out rally Gasquet easily. Then in the fourth round, he'll play Diego Schwartzman. Again, two guys, similar type of game, but Medvedev's just got more power than Schwartzman. He'll boss him around, overpower him in the rallies, be a bit more faster. Oh no, they're both fast, but he'll just out rally him and move him around in the rallies and just do the same thing that Schwartzman does, even better. And then because he's got a better serve, he'll get more free points on the serve and more rallies where he can start ahead. So he'll win that, and then he'll move in the quarterfinals. And then he's going to play Rublev. He usually always beats Rublev in the quarterfinals, and then he'll get back Rublev's serve. He'll force Rublev into rallies. He'll move Rublev around, force Rublev to have to hit the ball too hard, too powerful, too close to the line. and hit the ball out. Yeah, he'll force Rublev into high risk tennis to have to hit the ball too hard, too close to the line and make errors to get past Medvedev's defense. And then when Rublev's not being that aggressive, Medvedev moves him around, exposes a lack of movement, out rallies him. So probably 4 sets for Medvedev there, and that's the semi-final for Medvedev. Let's look at another part of the draw. Tsitsipas is part of the draw. So Tsitsipas, he's got he beat a guy called M. Meyer. Can't pronounce his name, from Sweden. The second match, he'll probably beat Ramirez Vinolas, just overpower him. Dimitrov, again, probably he'll overpower him, especially with a big forehand and coming into the net. The round of 16, he'll get a good. Should just again, that'll be close. A good will want to rally, but I just think with the bigger serve and the bigger forehand, he'll move Agut around. He's overpower Agut in the rallies. He'll shorten the point on Agut and not allow Agut just to have enough rhythm to get in a rally. He'll always be rushed. The points will always be shortened. And Tsitsipas will be overpowering again with the forehand, taking time away, shortening the point, coming in and finishing at the net. Then he'll get Sinner. They're both big servers, power guys, Tsitsipas and Sinner. But I just think Tsitsipas will just have a bit more power on the serve, a bit more power on the rally and the forehand, and a bit better ability at the net. So probably playing the same style, but being just a bit better will be Tsitsipas. And that would be the quarterfinals where he would win. So he would be in the semi-finals, and he would be playing Medvedev in the semi-finals. All right. So that's that. This other part of the draw, I'm not really going to talk about it much. It's, I believe, the Berrettini section. Yeah, Berrettini. So the top section, I mean, Berrettini's going to get Alcaraz, I think. He's got a wild card, then he's going to get Alcaraz. Then he could get Pablo Carreno Busta. I mean, he might have to beat Monfils, but Berrettini will be able to beat everyone in this section of the draw, and he'll move through to the semi-finals. So now we've got Berrettini into the semi-finals. So we've got Tsitsipas versus Medvedev in one semi-final, Berrettini in the other. So let's look at Nadal's part of the draw. He'll play. He just beat Hoffman. He's in the third round. Should have Khachanov and beat him. Then the fourth round, it'll either be Karatsev or Hurkacz. So Nadal's going to basically get Khachanov in rallies, move him around, expose his lack of movement and consistency. Nadal's going to out-rally him. Khachanov is going to try to have to go for too much to shorten the point to get past Nadal's defense. And by attacking, shortening the point, hitting it so hard close to the line, Khachanov will hit errors. When he doesn't do that, Nadal's going to move him around with his forehand, expose his lack of movement, and just beat him by either Khachanov going for too much or Nadal out-rallying him. Then he's going to have Hubert Hurkacz. Again, the same type of thing. Nadal will get him in rallies, move him around with the forehand, and expose his lack of movement. Just hitting those big forehands, guys, and just left and right, and then Hubert Hurkacz, again, he won't have the speed and he won't be able to do anything. He'll end up go for too much, hit it as hard as he can, as close to the line, take risks to try to shorten the point. Um, so that's what will happen. So then Hubert Hurkacz, by not wanting to rally with Nadal, by having to hit the ball too hard, too powerful, too close to the line, that when you're trying to take such risks, like hit the ball as hard as you can, as close to the line, you make a whole lot of errors. So that's what Hubert Hurkacz does. And when he's not willing to do that, then Nadal gets him in the rally, moves him around, exposes his lack of movement, and out 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 rallies him. And then when he doesn't want that, then Hurkacz has to go for too much. You get the errors. So Nadal wins that and moves into the quarterfinals. So oh, and Djokovic might not be banned for 3 years. The government can review that at any time. So we don't know Djokovic's future, but we know he's not there this year. So let's look at Zverev's part of the draw. Sorry, guys, just 1 second. Yeah, so Zverev is playing Millman. He should win that one. Um, then I think he'll have Shapovalov in the round of 16. I think they've both got a big serve, power game in the rallies. But I just think Zverev serves, their serves are actually pretty equal. Their power is pretty equal, but Zverev has the consistency with the power where he can just move him around, out rally him, hit a whole lot of winners with his power, but not have to give up a whole lot of errors to get that. Whereas Shapovalov will have the same amount of power on the serve and the rally and same amount of winners, but will have to give up a whole lot of errors to get to get those winners and to play that aggressive game, right? So because of that, he's going to lose because Zverev will be able to match him with the power on the serve, the power in the rally, the winners, but with far less errors off Zverev's racket. Whereas Shapovalov's same power on serve, rally, but more errors to get the winners. Whereas Zverev's matching him on the winners and aces, but not having to give up the errors. So I just think that'll be the story. Probably 4 sets. And then Zverev will play against Nadal, I would say. And then in this match, it's going to be quite difficult. But I just think it's going to come down to the rallies. And so, yeah, I just think like Nadal is going to be a great match. Nadal quarterfinal, Nadal's a rev. But I just think Nadal's going to out rally him with the forehand. Hit the big forehand, moves the rev around, expose his sort of lack of movement and his size. And over hours of the long rallies and Nadal hitting forehands and pushing Zverev around, and Zverev not having amazing court speed, he's just going to be out rallied all the time. And then he's just going to get tired and sick of running. And his height and his long legs and his lack of movement and have to always constantly run and always be just that step slow. Eventually, he's just going to run out of gas here. I see that. But it will be a great match and probably 4 or 5 sets for Nadal. So now Nadal will be in the semi-finals. He'll play Berrettini. Um, his return of serve is going to be good enough to get Berrettini in rallies. And again, the same sort of thing, move Berrettini around with a forehand, expose his lack of movement, and Berrettini's got no chance in those rallies. When Berrettini's sick of that, He goes for huge amounts of power close to the line to shorten the points, but mostly that just causes errors. So it's either Berrettini going for too much or Nadal moving around in the rallies, exposing the lack of movement. So I'm saying Nadal wins that and goes through to the final. The other semi-final will be Tsitsipas Medvedev. Medvedev and Tsitsipas. I just think Medvedev is going to get back his serve. They're both going to win a lot of points off their first serve, and that's going to sort of even it out. So then it's going to come down to the second service points won, and the second service points are usually decided by rallies. And Medvedev's a better rallier, so it'll either be Medvedev moving him around, exposing his lack of movement, out rallying him, or Tsitsipas sick of being pushed around in those long rallies, having to go for too much power, too close to the line, or coming to the net when it's not there and getting past. All those efforts that Tsitsipas does to shorten the points, he's going to get his serve. He's going to get his volley. He's going to be coming to the net when the opportunity is not quite there, and then Medvedev's going to pass him, or he's going to just go for too much at the back of the court and hit it out. Because he's had just to shorten the point again against Medvedev and get past Medvedev's defense, you need to hit the ball so hard, so close to the line, right? And there's high level of risk and a lot of errors. Then you say, I'll come into the net. Medvedev's always there setting up for the passing shot. Then when you don't want to do that, Medvedev's just moving you around, out rallying you. So 4 sets to Medvedev. So now we're going to have a Medvedev. I just said that Nadal had beaten Berrettini in the semi-final. So I've got a Medvedev Nadal final here. And I'm going to say 5 sets to Nadal. They're both really good at rallying. Nadal's picked up his serve to a similar level of Medvedev's serve. But I just think it's going to come down to experience and pressure. The combination of Medvedev being the younger guy and less experience and much harder to deliver under the big moments, right? That's the situation for him. But then to have to do it when you're supposed to be favourite and the expectations on you, you're playing a 20-time Grand Slam winner in a Grand Slam. There's already a lot of pressure when you're a young guy. But when you're the one who's expected to win, it's just like if you win, it's just okay. And if you lose, it's terrible. Then the pressure's even more than when you're the underdog, right? Whereas for Nadal, with all this experience, big match, pressure player, always used to being the favourite. Whereas if he doesn't win, it's like a disaster. For him to just be able to relax and not be the favourite for once and have all the pressure on the other guy. So you're already experienced. You're fine if you're the favourite. You're fine being under pressure because you're always under pressure and you always deliver and you got the experience to be there. But it's nice not to be there for once, and he'll not be there for once. So he'll have that big match experience, but not the pressure he usually has. So to relax and just be even better under pressure than normal because there won't be much because he'll be the underdog. Whereas Medvedev now, after winning a Grand Slam, having to produce it and win another Grand Slam, the experience of being like if he doesn't beat Nadal, it's terrible, and if he does, it's just expected. I think that's just a lot of pressure. So the combination, the pressure of Medvedev being favourite, lack of pressure on Nadal for being underdog, and then Nadal just being better into the big moments. I think that's going to decide it, and it's going to be just great rallying, Nadal and Medvedev rallying back and forth on a great level. But I think sometimes in those rallies, Medvedev won't get the ball quite through the court with enough power, which will just moving Nadal around, but not penetrating the court enough, which will give Nadal time to set up for his forehands and control the rallies that way and keep hitting more and more forehands till he gets past Medvedev's defense. Whereas when Medvedev's in the rallies, not have that finishing shot of Nadal to really get through the court and control the rallies, whereas Nadal will with the forehand. And then, like I said, the main thing, it'll be totally equal, come down to pressure moments. Nadal's got the experience. He's won Grand Slams. He's been in a situation like that. He'll be the underdog, which will give him less pressure. Whereas Medvedev, young guy, the first time ever, saying the pressure's all on his shoulders. He should do this. He should win. All the pressure's on his shoulders. Either deliver and beat someone as great as Nadal or you're a failure. That type of pressure. It's going to be too difficult for the young guy, I'd say. So just based on the mental side, I think they're pretty equal, but based on the mental side of the game, the fact that Nadal's got way more experience, Medvedev's a younger guy with far less experience. Medvedev will have all the pressure being the favourite. Nadal will have none of the pressure being the underdog. And I think this 21st Grand Slam, history on the line, Nadal's going to fight everything to get it. And then the second thing is, he knows Djokovic, after winning the French Open, has all four Grand Slams twice. He doesn't want Djokovic to be the only one to have won all four Grand Slams twice. And here's his chance to equal Djokovic too and say, on the all four Grand Slams twice, I've equaled you here at the Australian Open. But on the total tally of Grand Slams, I've passed you 21-20. So when you look at those two things, the thing that Djokovic has over him, all four Grand Slams twice, he'll no longer have. They'll both have that. So that's a big thing. And then the total tally of Grand Slams, he will be ahead of Djokovic on that too, 21-20. And then with the French Open, the next Grand Slam, to move further ahead. So there's so much on the line for Nadal, but yet he's the underdog. And he knows that if he doesn't win this, he's probably doesn't get the 21st Grand Slam at the Australian Open, he'll probably be the favourite to get it at the French Open. So he has that at least ability to relax and saying, I'm going to win and get 21 and get ahead of Djokovic. But if I fail, the second Grand Slam's the French Open and I'll do it there either. So it's just a matter of is it happening now or the French Open. But either way, I'm getting 21 ahead of Djokovic either here at the French Open. So that's another thing that takes pressure off him. And I think he'll do it. And in 5 sets over Medvedev. And Nadal will be your 2022 Australian Open champion. That's my video for today. Subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. I'm going to do a preview of the Australian Open quarterfinals. Then I'll do another preview of the Australian Open semi-finals. And then I'll be back here for a third video of the Australian Open final. So remember, 3 videos. Australian Open quarterfinal preview. Second video, Australian Open semi-final preview. Third video, Australian Open final preview. Maybe a small chance that I can't do the quarterfinals, but I should do it 90%. So subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up, and be back here for my next video, the Australian Open quarterfinal preview, and also some interviews with the players. Okay, bye guys. Thanks for watching. Bye guys. Thanks for being with me. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.